idea number one. Now let's move from there to idea number two.
Nicely with the word Tazria.
Yeah. Avada. It's confusing to be Metzorah. Let's move into idea number two. Idea number two is something that if I didn't tell you I was reading from Ramesh Feinstein, you would maybe accuse the following words of being written by either some spiritual Kabbalistic author or maybe some newfangled, whatever you want to coin it. But it's the words of the Hilchot Drash Moshe. Now, it is true, the Drash Moshe was Ramesh Feinstein's drashos, so he didn't write it. But I do not know anyone that calls into question the authorship. So, for a few minutes, let's indulge and let's maybe come to the realization, and hopefully this Hakdama will be clear in a moment, come to the realization of what the MS is. So, says Ramesh, V'habeged v'hagoymer asher techabis. So this is a garment that has saras, that you launder. V'sar me'em hanega, and you remove from it the nega, the saras. V'choybes shenis, and you launder it a second time, v'tar. Now, what does the word kibus mean? So kibus in Hebrew means to launder. So over here, it says this word koyves 2 times. V'kara ksiv bein ala kvus mamish, bein ala tvila loshin v'kibis. It could mean both. It could either mean physical laundering or spiritual laundry. You could either be putting it in the washing machine, or what's spiritual laundry? Dipping it into the mikvah, which, by the way, it's first time you hear this, it's incredible. If you were to have a jacket that was tameh, you would actually dip it in the mikvah. Just sounds bizarre. We'll put a cup in the mikvah. Yeah, you take your clothing and you dip it in the mikvah. Okay, gewaldig. And the Targum, says Ramesh Feinstein, differentiates in order to explain the pasuk. So now, Ramesh wants to know, why is the word kibbutz used twice? Says Ramesh, and these are the words I want us all to hear. L'hayr is to teach, she'af ha'tvila, that even, we'll use the word ritual immersion, tvila, who kivos is laundry mehatuma, right? What is a mikvah? A mikvah is a spiritual washing machine. You go in tameh, you come out clean. Shugamkin kidover maos. What is tuma? So we don't know tuma. No, says Ramesh, you know what tuma is? It's a reality of something maos, of something disgusting, shetzarach lasiroy, that you have to remove it. We don't see it. So what do you mean? What do you mean, Rabbi, the Tumah is real? I don't see nothing. What do you mean if I buy a new cup and I don't put it in the mikvah, I can't eat from it because it's Tameh, it was bought from a guy, it has a non-Jew's impurity on it. What do you mean? I don't see anything. But the reality is this cup or this garment has Tumah. It's ritually impure. It's ma'os. It's gross. It's disgusting. Va'emes, and the truth is, the kemoi, that just like shemivin, that you understand, shesarach kivos lahasir lechloch. How do you remove filth? And just to add in just a little bit more of a flavor, sometimes you could have a garment and it might look clean, but it will smell terrible. So someone might see you taking this thing, it looks perfectly clean, and you're throwing it in the water. Why are you washing it? It's clean. Smell it. Shtickle COVID vibes, you know what I'm saying? You're not sure. No, it really smells. I can't smell anything. No, it really smells. It's gross. So one person might say, this item is gross, and the other person says, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's perfectly clean. But you could understand intellectually that it is gross. It smells, it stinks, and I'm going to go and wash it, and it's going to become clean. Va'em is the commotion, even just like you understand. Ramesh is saying pshat in a pasuk. The pasuk says the word kibbutz 2 times to teach us. Human beings, just like you could intellectually understand, shetzarach kibos, you need to laundry, lahasir, to remove lechloch, filth, umaos, and disgust, umare hanege, gamkin, and when it's a real tzaras is a real splotch, gamkin sarach lahavin, you also have to understand, veleda and no, the hadiisa bikrashu toma hu lechloch ruchani. Toma is a spiritual lechloch, filth, disgusting. She'oyid gerua yoser. It's more disgusting. Mitame kol because it's more disgusting. If I touch something that's dirty, if your shirt's dirty and I touch it, I don't become dirty. But if your shirt's tameh and I touch it, I become tameh. So that means that the spiritual impurity, the spiritual filth, is worse than even real filth. And therefore, what is the laundry? The kivus shaloi, who rak tvila b'mikvah kshera, is putting it in a mikvah to make it clean. So this reminds us of something that we learned probably about a year and a half ago. I won't hold it to you if you don't remember, but I think when I say the words, you might actually remember. There's a third parsha of the Torah. Bereshis Noach Lech Lecha. Lech Lecha. It's an incredible Rabbeinu Bechaye that we learned. The Rabbeinu Bechaye says, you know what the word Lech Lecha is? Take the two words and put it together. Lech Loch. Filth. Zak Rabbeinu Bechaye, Avram Avinu couldn't hang out with everyone else. He had to be Eber Hanar. He had to go away from everyone. Why? Because he's going to be contaminated by the people. Avram Avinu. What? You're telling me if I take Rav Chaim Kanievsky and I sit him next to a bunch of whatnots, he's going to become infected? That's ridiculous. Zak Rabbeinu Bechaye, yes. You know why? Because spiritual filth is real. It's lichluch. Just like when you step in a pile of dirt, you can't say, oh, I won't get clean. It's a reality. Avram Avinu couldn't be with people because he would get dirty. Says Moshe Feinstein, the Torah is teaching us the word kibos to realize spiritual impurity is real. And I think it's a very important lesson because unfortunately we live in a world of spiritual impurity. And we live in a world wherever we go, whatever we see, whatever we do, we're inundated by tumah, by filth. And sometimes we say to ourselves, okay, no, what's the difference? The answer is not no, what's the difference? The answer is it infects us, real infections, and the mikvah is real. That's why I said you might accuse this author of being some newfangled Kabbalist. Go to the mikvah and you become clean. Well, you could say it that way and it sounds bizarre. Or Zekra Moshe Feinstein, it's a pasuk in the Torah. The mikvah is real. Now, it's also true, a daf gemara is a mikvah also. It's also true that there's many ways to connect to purity or impurity, 100%. But step number one is to realize it's real. You hang out with the wrong crowd, you become that. And in reality, as we maybe grow up and maybe mature a little bit, maybe we start to realize that, hey, it's taka true. When I go out with that chevra of guys, it's true. I get pulled down a little bit. When I sit with that chevra of guys, I don't. Now, it's a Herculean effort to make the right decision. It's true. But I think if we realize it's lichluch, it's real. If we realize those words of our Moshe Feinstein, that it's so real, it's worse than actual filth. Actual filth isn't, you can't contaminate someone else with filth, right? But you can contaminate someone else with tumah. Hopefully, b'siyata d'shmaya, the realization will give us a little bit of chizuk to stay a little bit further away, to connect a little bit more, b'siyata d'shmaya, with real tahira.